Hello and welcome to 5-6 day 4. Let's take a look at some of these selected problems. First one we're going to look at is number 60. My greatest common factor here appears to be a 2. Remember, always look for a greatest common factor first. And so then after I factor out my 2, this is what's left. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply my a times c, because anytime I have a letter here and a letter here that are both squared, I want to make sure that I do it the way I'm sure I know how. I get 16 factors of 16 that add up to 8 are 4 and 4. So now I'm going to, since I circled my 2, I'm going to remember to bring that down. I'm going to replace my middle terms with 4xy and 4xy. Notice that if there's an xy in the middle term, it has to be xy's that I change it into. So then we're going to group the first 2 together and group the second 2 together. Greatest common factor of my first terms is x, leaving me with x plus 4y. Greatest common factor of my second grouping appears to be a plus 4y, leaving me with x plus 4y. And then if I regroup this, I get x plus 4y times x plus 4y. If I remember to bring my 2 down, and if I really wanted to, I could rewrite this as 2 times the quantity x plus 4y squared. Because there's 2 of them, you can write it as a squared. So now let's move to question 62. It says x squared plus 6x plus 8. Now this is the shortcut pattern because there's no number in front of the squared term. We're looking for factors of 8 that add up to 6, and I'm going to go with 4 and 2. So I'm going to go straight to the parentheses because there's nothing in front of my x squared, and I'm going to go with x plus 4 and x plus 2. The next one we're going to try is number 63. And in this one I have 2 times the quantity x plus 4 squared plus 3 times the quantity x plus 4 minus 5. In the past, what we've done with this is we would make a substitution, y equals x plus 4. And so then we have 2y squared plus 3y minus 5. Notice that I made these binomials into one thing so it looks like the pattern we're used to doing. So then we're going to multiply our AC like we have in the past. Factors of negative 10 that add up to 3 are 5 and negative 2. So I'm going to split my middle term into 5y and negative 2y. Groupity, group, 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 plus sign in between. Greatest common factor of my first group appears to be a y, leaving me with 2y plus 5. Greatest common factor of my second one is a negative 1, leaving me 2y plus 5. Regrouping this, I get 2y plus 5 times the quantity of y minus 1. We're not done because if you substitute once, you have to resubstitute in. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to write 2 times, and my substitution was x plus 4. So I'm going to resubstitute in. And here my substitution was y plus 4. And then minus 1. So then when I simplify, I have to distribute here. I get 2x plus 8 plus 5. And here I get x plus 4 minus 1. And my last step here is to simplify a little bit into 2x plus 13. 8 plus 5 is 13. Here I get x 4 minus 1 is 3. So once you substitute up here, you got to remember to resubstitute down there. Let's take a look at question 64. Same kind of problem as 63. Let's jump to 66. 66, we have 4x squared minus 39x plus 27. If I want to check for a greatest common factor first, seeing no greatest common factor, I'm going to multiply. I get 108. Factors of 108 that add up to 39. My factors are negative 3 and negative 36, so I'm going to replace my middle term, 4x squared minus 3x minus 36x plus 27. Groupity, group, 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 plus sign in between. Greatest common factor of my first group is x, leaving me with 4x minus 3. Greatest common factor of my second groupity appears to be a negative 9, leaving me with 4x minus 3. Rewriting that, I get 4x minus 3 times x minus 9. Let's take a look at number 69 next. 69 says 6x cubed minus x squared minus x. The first thing that we do is check for greatest common factor. X would come out, leaving me with 6x squared minus x minus 1. I'm going to do my AC thing. I get factors of negative 6 that add up to a negative 1. I'm going to split this into negative 3 and 2. Circle this so I don't forget to bring it down. Split my middle term into negative 3x plus 2x minus 1. Groupity, group, group, group. Greatest common factor is 3x, leaving me with 2x minus 1. The only thing we can take out of the second grouping is a 1, leaving me with 2x minus 1. And then rewriting that, I would get 2x minus 1 times 3x plus 1. Bringing down, I get an x out front. And the last one today is number 70. It says 12x cubed plus x squared minus x. Again, the first thing we check for is greatest common factor, which is x, leaving me with 12x squared plus 1x minus 1. I'm going to circle it. A times c gives me a negative 12. Factors of negative 12 that add up to positive 1 are going to be 4 and negative 3. I'm going to split my middle term into 4x and negative 3x. And then I'm going to groupity, group, 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 plus sign in between. Greatest common factor is 4x, leaving me with 3x plus 1. Pulling out my negative 1 leaves me with 3x plus 1. And rewrite that as 3x plus 1 times the quantity of 4x minus 1. Make sure you remember to bring the x down since it's circled. Thanks and good luck.